Hello, my name's Kevin. I'm the typical cripple that I'm with.
Bizarrozar.
And we have I don't know, would you call it a treat?
Uh, a weird one.
I think I gave you nightmares.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, since sharing is caring, I thought I'd share it with you. So, Bizarro, would you?
Believe it or not, I'm trying.
That's okay.
This
Trackball can be a little weird.
it's partly the
All right.
lagginess of the whole system here.
Well, look, why don't we pause for a second? No. So what this is, if you look at the top here, here, take your, oh, your mouse is lagging.
Yeah, that's basically what was going on there.
So it's live, the world's largest tunnel to open in Goddard Massif, which is a mountain in French. Anyway, there was a 70 meter or 70 meters, 70-kilometer tunnel uh, in between Switzerland on one side and Italy on the other. And this is a celebration for the opening. These are the opening ceremonies to this tunnel that costs billions of dollars. And so, what I thought was weird is these people are so proud of this tunnel that they decided to, So here's the thing. This is a state function with heads of state from Germany, France, Switzerland, and Italy, and they're all here to commemorate the opening of this tunnel.
And religious leaders too.
And religious leaders. Can we get a picture of that?
It was.
Yes. So, Jewish. What have we got here? Wow. Oh, it stopped. Okay.
There we go.
So we got everyone here, don't we? We got a Catholic. Um, a guy who appears to be Jewish, Islam, and Protestant, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Really?
Where's the Satanist? Maybe they all are.
Well, no, you're skipping ahead, dude.
Oh, sorry.
All right. So
well, I mean, they should be represented too, right? I mean, it's kind of their thing.
I think if you get if you're allowed to be in the parade, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so let's.
I am jumping the gun a little bit.
I don't mind. I love it when you.
So heads of state are here at this function.
Religious, religious leaders are here to consecrate this wonderful occasion. And then what do we get? It's way bad.
Oh yeah. So they're opening this
tunnel.
And
yes,
they have a fancy helicopter.
These are the heads of state arriving in Swiss Air Force.
All kinds of important-looking people.
Yes. And so they have two ceremonies, one at one end and one at the other end.
Ah, interesting.
And here's one of the, cathedral. It looks like a big tent structure that they erect around the normal infrastructure. So they're temporarily. Okay, here's where it gets weird.
Hold on, sorry.
No,
I saw something that.
That's okay.
Looked. That's what it was.
Yes, horse and carriage. It's not as jerky up. It's a little jerky up there, but
yeah, it looks like it's
just
not much.
So we get wonderful postmodern music. A wonderful Cirque du Soleil like thing.
I mean, when you have billions of dollars, you might as well spend a couple million on a production.
Right. There we go.
Straight to the super weirdness.
Yes, let's go straight to the super weirdness. Well, out we're not showing too much there.
The transgender angel of light.
Yeah, something like that, huh?
Or is it an owl?
Well, either way, it doesn't really, I mean, I'm not really up on my occult imagery, but, you know, methinks it's kind of one of those things where you see it and you're like, well, this is definitely weird. Right. And this is really weird. Watch this guy just... I wonder if this is considered music in these people's ears. This noise. I mean, what's the purpose of this? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying from artistic aesthetic. I mean, this is just random noise and dead people hanging on the. This is just weird. I mean, what is this? I mean, what are we looking at? That's all I want to know.
I don't know. I don't think they know either.
Well, they're sitting quite respectfully. All right, that's hard a little bit. Feedback. Ow.
That's worse for you than it is for me. Did I fast forward too much? Or is that
yeah, a little more.
A little more back?
Yeah. Now we have these. So, where's the one where they got the, oh yes.
Oh, okay.
Goat man. So this is interesting.
That's one way to put it.
Well, it's all the nature stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is what I consider like kind of druid earth worship.
Yeah.
Or more of the point deification of, you know, certain things in nature. Very bizarre.
Well, you don't.
I wonder if that guy's in a wheelchair.
Yeah, he is pretty fast. You don't want to anger Gaia. You gotta appease Gaia.
I think that's more Cousin It from the Addams Family.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see the resemblance, the family, the familial.
Yes.
actual animals were harmed in the making of this production.
Yes. Well,
Shrubs as well.
I mean, here's the thing. We get so much crap for being Christians, right? And then it's like, you Christians, you're so judgmental. Like, okay, but then this stuff happens. and I'm sitting here thinking, methinks that you just don't like my religion and you want to subordinate my faith in you know, and insert this? Really? This is what you... I mean, at what point are we going to reinstate human sacrifice?
I mean,
I'm just curious.
it's already happened, in my opinion.
Where? Abortion?
Yeah.
Well, right, but that's a little less religious and a little more utilitarian. Where this is like...
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a religious element. Like, we assume that most of abortion is utilitarian. But who knows if people are actually doing it as part of their weird pagan religion.
Right, but they're not setting up altars to Baphomet.
That we know of.
Well, right.
It's not quite yet out in the open.
Well, right, but I've never heard of people coming out of Planned Parenthood thinking, I just offered my child to a goat community, and somehow I feel better about it.
I mean, they do basically talk about how, they are sacrificing that child for the sake of their careers.
Oh,
for the sake of their prosperity.
Yeah, that's more of a utilitarian, where this is sacrificed for, it's kind of like the volcano idea. The volcano gets rather angry, we gotta rustle up a virgin to throw in there.
Yeah, but I think that's where, to me, the line between like a religion and quote unquote utilitarian considerations kind of gets blurred, because like, you're gonna worship something basically.
Well, you are. I mean, this is post-atheism right here.
Right.
And all right, well, let's fast forward to some more creepiness.
Because the very concept that prosperity means, high income. I mean, that's one interpretation of it.
Well, you could also
say having a large, happy family is prosperity.
True that. All right, let's go to this 6 hours.
Oh, we're going all the way. How is it that long? My goodness.
Well, and how
it has other ceremonies and things.
Right.
Speeches.
This is all day. Europe, this is your tax dollars at work, man.
Yeah.
Look at where your tax dollars are going. In America, we make weapons that don't work. You, at least you have infrastructure. Ah, yes, the climbers. Yes. Here are the workers of the Gothenburg Tunnel. Oh no, that guy died. Oh.
Gotta make our human sacrifice.
That isn't yes, very good. But this is more figurative or symbolic sacrifice.
Right.
I mean, look at these people. They're like salamanders going up a wall. Or Spider-Man.
I think I played a mobile game like this.
What?
You, like, have something on the screen, you tap it, and then
it dropped.
Yeah.
Didn't somebody do a video where they had their frog like licking the screen or something?
Something.
And he bit the guy's finger.
There's games you can put for your cats to play on those kind of mobile devices.
Right. Well, at least they're safety conscious, and they got those helmets from. They got safety helmets on. You see that? They look like they're from Starship Troopers. Look at them.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah.
got the Starship Troopers helmets. Go! Oh my gosh. Alright, let's fast forward a little bit.
Now the whole thing's coming down.
Oh no, it's a boring. Oh, look at that. It's like, they got dancers in the blade heads of the tunnel machine. Talk about boring. Ha ha ha, dead joke. Tunnel work is so boring. Alright, keep going. Yes. More workers with staffs. What's next? Men in tights?
Yeah, because you typically work with your shirt off.
Well, you see all those women with their sports bras. You know that one. Oh my god! No, they're ripping their clothes off. Oh, of course. Because that's every workplace environment.
Yeah, and it's like perfectly equally men and women.
Right.
As all, heavy lifting jobs, type jobs.
Oh, what is this? Go to work in your underwear?
Okay.
All right. Fast forward. I don't think the people need to see more. Oh, more industrial art.
Is that what this is?
No, you got the.
Now they're dying.
I
Killing
know,
them.
right? It's like, do I want to use this tunnel?
I mean, how many people died to make this tunnel
Well,
and this production?
here we go. No more. Yeah. So,
Okay, there's some kind of weird,
so here's the thing. I'm thinking like Christian Europe had Bach, Beethoven. Heck, I'll even put in Wagner. Wagner is better than this. Yeah, I don't even like classical music.
techno is better than this.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think everyone gets the idea. Oh, they answered you. That's techno.
Oh, dubstep. No, but see, it's.
Is that like the?
And you got like the traditional band out here
Yeah, and you got. No.
too. What? What?
Yeah. Let's move on a little bit. What's with the penguins? What's with the...
What? What? What?
So,
Okay.
welder and a tutu.
Yes, and a welder's helmet, which of
Well,
course,
that
all
that
welders
that's
wear.
a,
All welders wear tutus. That's just everyone knows that.
so. All right, let's stop it. I wanna talk to the people for a second. So, what I thought was interesting about this display, if you will, is that there are people that are proud of this kind of behavior, and um, we live in a free society. I think people should generally do as they will, but I think they should do it openly for criticism and whatnot. And we should have the free society, but but here's the thing: we've been
But
told all our lives that you're not supposed to mix religion and politics, and yet we seem to have a double standard here,
well,
and
and
that's what I'm pointing out.
we should live in a free society, but at the same time, or supposedly we live in a free
Right.
society, but at the same time, if you criticize and mock some of the craziness that goes on,
Mm.
like especially in certain sectors, like that's part of why I try to withhold my identity, is because your job prospects could be taken if you're
Right.
caught criticizing the wrong thing. and
See,
and that's where it's like, well, do we live in a free society? And
right.
it's, yeah, so I don't know, it's like, and if you have if you are permissive, if
Permissive.
you're going to always be permissive of certain things and not permissive of other things, and
Right.
what those things are just seems to be, it's definitely changed in my lifetime.
Well, we can't. I mean, here's the thing. You remember that coexist bumper sticker?
Yeah, still see it.
Can people really coexist under that model? Because here's the thing. Christianity, Islam, Judaism, they have fought amongst each other for centuries. And sometimes for good reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but they all come from they all are derivative of Abraham. That's why they're the Abrahamic religions.
Mm-hmm.
Where I think, if you will, if we are, we all have to agree on certain standards in order to have society. And what I fear is that people that produce things like this show me that it's more than just another faith. It's a faith fighting for dominance.
Right.
And they have access to government institutions. And with access to government institutions come power. Yet these people exercise their power for the benefit of those in their faith. That's the same criticism Christianity got for like being overly judgmental on issues of homosexuality or being lumped in with racism.
Well, this is something you talked about, like a faith fighting for its dominance or
Right.
supremacy. Is there such a thing as a faith that wouldn't fight for its supremacy? Because if you truly believe something, why wouldn't you want that to spread and become more prevalent and more, dominant in a way? Because if you think it's a good thing, and now the way that you want that to take power, you could say, well, I'm not going to use violence or something. You could say you want to do it through, messaging and things like that. Mm-hmm. But if you have a faith, why wouldn't you want that to become prevalent, so to speak?
Well, I think that's the I would say the elephant in the room is that as Christians we've been told, oh, your faith is oppressive, which it is, but so is this one.
Yeah.
So we're talking about oppression on oppression. We're talking about people saying, oh, let's be open and let's let everything come out and be anti-order. Where I think at the heart of Christianity is acceptance of order.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the thing is, reality you could describe as oppressive. I am oppressed by gravity and my own physical limitations.
Well, who can see that more than I?
Right.
I mean, do I sit there and rail against the spirit of cerebral palsy? I can, but it doesn't do any good.
Right.
Now, I can pray to Jesus and say, please take this thing away from me, and he'll probably, pedal back what he said to Paul. My grace is sufficient for you.
Yeah.
Oh, joy.
Yeah.
Not exactly the answer I want to hear back.
And you have a hope that,
right.
You won't always be confined to that.
Well, I think that's where we need to really push the message here. It's not a now kind of thing. It's a putting off gratification till heaven. And if you look at it that way, if all we have is this life, then yeah, I understand all this. This makes perfect sense. But if this life isn't all we have, and there is a life to come, and even though we don't always understand it, we like to think of ourselves as moderns. We don't believe in the woo, but woo exists.
Well, I was going to say,
I don't consider Christianity woo.
I think a lot of Christians have been duped into basically not really. They're being gaslit. Basically, it's like, oh well.
Explain gaslighting.
Well, I'm not. Let me finish the thought first.
Oh, okay.
They're being manipulated into thinking, well, I need to, just be accepting of everything and everyone as they are, without qualification, because that's what the loving thing to do is, rather than loving in the way that God has prescribed in His Word, and rather than interacting with the world as is found, like the way that we're supposed to. We've bought into a lot of the postmodern ideas of relativism and tolerance in a way that just like neuters the faith of a lot of people, I think.
Well, I think postmodernism tears down artifacts of faith because it pretty much shows that we are all individuals. We all perceive reality a little differently than the others. But in Christianity, we're all asked, can you see it the way God does? And if you see it the way God does, then you're going to sync up with his view of reality.
Right.
It's not to say that the scientific worldview is wrong. It's just to say the scientific worldview does not give us the meaning of it. It gives us the what and the how, but not the why.
Yeah, and I mean,
Does that make sense?
the scientific worldview is reliant on the Christian worldview in a lot of ways.
We'll explain that a little bit, but explain gaslighting a little bit.
Well, I mean, gaslighting is the terminology comes from a movie. I don't know. It's a very old movie where it was like about this woman in an abusive relationship where her husband would like change. Well, okay, so back in the day, they had these gaslights, basically before electricity was widespread use, and electric bulbs, basically.
Right.
They would have
An open flame.
yeah, so
And gas would be piped in.
right,
And you have a little regulator.
right, and if somebody else, like, what was it? If you turn a light on in one spot, it would like cause the lights in another part of the house to flicker a little bit or to dim, because it was drawing pressure from the system, I guess. And so this, I think he was home in the attic or something doing something up there. I can't remember all the details, but basically this flickering is going on. This lady sees it, and she's like, she's like thinking, well, somebody's home, but
the light gets dimmer and dimmer.
Right.
And he keeps saying, "Oh no, I didn't do anything to the light.
Right.
No, not me. I did nothing to change the circumstances. It's merely your perception."
Exactly.
And so he goes on and he turns it down a little more and a little more, and there's no way for her to verify what's going on other than go over there and turn it up.
Right.
She never does. Rather, she takes his word for it, and then she falls down the stairs and kills herself. And that's the point of the movie. Is that murder? And so the whole point of the movie was, oh no, your perception. So I've known people who do, oh, that isn't me. I would never do such a thing to hurt you. But then they do.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, it's merely your perception of things.
It's
not,
emotional. It's emotional manipulation.
Exactly. It's like it's asking somebody to have faith in someone else who's manipulating your circumstances and manipulating the language. So if you give the other person a little power, they take it and run with it.
Right.
Which means we need to be that much more suspicious and
Gentle as dove, wise as serpents.
right. In other words, don't lash out and be angry, but just like pull away and maybe I won't go over to that friend's house. It keeps gaslighting me and things of that nature. But again, it's like I think a lot of what we have within Christendom is we want to identify with the victim. Who are victims, who are people, and we want to virtue signal our support for X, Y, or Z. I mean, it doesn't mean that I think individuals, like if I had a Hindu friend or a Muslim friend or whatever, I can interact with them as an individual. But here's the thing about Islam. Islam gets to a certain level of population, they act differently.
Right.
And I think I saw a video where it's like 2%. They're trying to increase civil rights at 10%. They're a little more militant at 50%. They're shutting things down. And we see the same thing with the left, is that they're using their power to assert their will. And what we've been told is that, oh no, that isn't what you're seeing. It really is, help for the poor, help for the disabled. By the way, I'm disabled. Hi, my name's Kevin. And I'm here to say things are getting worse for me. But anyway, yeah, interesting little video. I thought it was worthwhile to do because Christians, we need to be aware of this, and when we're aware of it, we can speak up about it in opposition to this kind of. All I'm trying to say is, I think if government is going to represent us all, ceremonies like this are kind of out of the bag for me.
Yeah.
How would you feel if we opened up a new, building here for the government, or put a tunnel somewhere, and they come out with the owl of Moloch from Bohemian Grove, and started, even if it was all symbolic, I mean, it still means things.
Yeah. It wouldn't really surprise me, but that's
Right.
But it would. So that's part of, like, like you mentioned, the Muslims, they'll kind of concentrate and then assert their basically their religious beliefs. They believe things should be run in a certain way, and so they'll gain political influence, and then they'll start enacting those things. And I don't know if isn't that just the way things work? Like, people have said, oh no, we shouldn't. That shouldn't be how, or they'll either deny that that's happening, on the one hand, or they'll accuse like Christianity of doing that sort of thing.
Right, and then turn around and do it themselves.
Exactly, exactly, and that's the point. That's kind of what I'm getting at, is like, well, everyone's basically gonna do it, so it's the gaslighting is saying it's like wrong. Like, the thing we should argue about is which religion is right, which belief system is right, not, if a belief system comes into power, is it going to assert its will? It's like, well, of course it is.
Of course it is.
It wouldn't be a belief system if it, I mean, you don't really believe what you say you believe if you don't want the tenets of your belief system to be enacted in society.
Well, and here's the thing. Should government be the mechanism that every so often we revolve the leadership to represent a new faction? And that's something I don't agree with.
I don't quite understand what you mean.
Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ. Let's say we get a beta, I
mean, that's just the that's the national religion being enacted in government.
Right.
We used to kind of have a religion of Christianity. Now we have whatever we have.
Well, we have whatever we have because Christianity
abrogated.
Well, we've run from the field of power.
Right.
And now we're being told, don't be wealthy, don't, be poor, be tolerant, and just, I don't want to say it like this, but accept whatever's coming. And I think to a certain extent, there's a. Do you know what a martyrdom complex is? The idea that you're only, if you're really on target religion-wise, you're going to get a lot of flack. And I think this plays into a lot of people's sense of, I don't feel like I'm suffering enough. And here's the thing, we are. Some people aren't. And other people are waiting for it to happen as if to say, it's my turn. And instead of looking at it going, look at all what the suffering is doing, they're looking at it from the lens of their own personal perspective. I'm looking forward to my suffering, to being drawn out or whatever, so I can show how serious I am. Where if you looked at it from the other point of view, which is we have power, we have a responsibility to exercise our power so that we can be the benefit to the most.
Right.
I think they're instead looking at it and saying, I'm protecting you by wearing a mask. Instead, it's we're protecting all of you by keeping electrification going. Because that's more important overall. Whether you're keeping the lights on because it keeps our food cold, it heats our food up. So much of our infrastructure is based on that. And if you want things to go south, and you want to revert back to wood stoves and things like this, it's like, well, then we're going to have to do so much more effort. And a lot of people look at this and go, oh, yes, that would be great, because wouldn't it mean it's almost a fetishization of lower orders of life? Yeah. It's like, I don't feel like I'm suffering enough. I want more suffering. And they don't understand it, that if they get the right amount of suffering, the downhill effect of that is people like me don't live.
Right.
I take that very personally.
I can't imagine why.
Oh, I'm just being selfish.
You're too sensitive.
Yes, I'm mostly too sensitive. All right, my name's Kevin. I'm the Typical Cripple, and I'm with
Bizarzar.
Thank you very much for indulging us. I know this is a really weird video, but I think it's worth going over, just like R over K. Thank you very much. I'll see you on the next bounce.
Adios.
Goodbye.
Adios.